Hello, I'm Andrew, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about certificates of insurance. If you are a business owner, using the certificate of insurance is a good way to mitigate risk in your business, and especially if you're hiring subcontractors frequently or vendors frequently to work for or with your business. It is important that you understand how to read a certificate of insurance and what the information on that document is telling you about the subcontractor or the vendor that you're working with. So we're going to talk a little bit about the basics of the certificate. Again, what you as a business owner need to know and how to read the certificate of insurance, and then some good practices that you can use in your business regarding certificates to make sure that you are mitigating risk as best as possible and protecting essentially the financial future of your business. So here we have an example of a certificate of insurance for a construction company, and maybe in this example I'm a general contractor and I'm hiring a subcontractor to do electrical, plumbing, or carpentry work on my construction project. So I always start at the top right hand corner. You want to make sure that the certificate is currently dated. You want to see the name of your subcontractor listed properly on the certificate. You can see who their insurance company is and the contact for their insurance agency, who is the one likely issuing this certificate of insurance. There are many different types of coverages that can be shown on a certificate. Commercial general liability, commercial auto, umbrella, workers' compensation, and then in this bottom box here you may see several different types of coverage that that a contractor or a vendor might have. This box over here shows that they have insurer A. It could be that your subcontractor has multiple different insurance companies. So in this case, for their general liability and all of their policies, they have Westfield Insurance Company. You should see a policy number listed for each type of coverage, and you should see current effective dates of their policies. And it's important that they have coverage for the time period in which they are performing the work for you. And then over on the right hand side for each column, you can see the coverages, the limits of coverage, limits of insurance that they have for each policy type. Now, especially in construction, but in virtually every business, you should see general liability coverage and workers' compensation coverage at a minimum. In this description holder box down here, this can be an area where an agent will type in information specific to you as the certificate holder. It could be a location of a project that they're working on for you. It could be wording such as the certificate is providing additional insured status, or their company has waived the right of subrogation, or they have primary non-contributory coverage. It basically takes the information on the certificate and provides a little bit of a written explanation. Commonly in construction agreements, subcontractors will be required to list a general contractor as an additional insured, or provide that waiver of subrogation. And if you require that from your subcontractor on a certificate, you'll see it in these boxes right here. This is the additional insured column, and this is the waiver of subrogation column. And you should see an X in the box if the policy provides you with that additional insured or waiver of subrogation status. Very importantly, kind of on the bottom left-hand corner of the certificate, you have the certificate holder. This is where your business and your address should be listed properly. And then on the bottom right-hand corner, this is where the certificate should be signed by the subcontractor's agent. If the certificate doesn't have a signature on it, then it is not valid. And that's kind of the basics of what a certificate looks like. There's many different things that you can list on a certificate, and you may have things that you attach to the certificate. You may require not only to see the certificate of insurance for a subcontractor, but you want to see specific endorsements that your subcontractor has on their policy. You might want to see a copy of that additional insured endorsement, or that waiver of subrogation endorsement, or maybe a 30 days notice of cancellation endorsement. So sometimes you'll see additional forms attached with a certificate. So now that you understand how to read the certificate, there are some practices, some best practices, tips that I would give you. And that would be, number one, to make sure that you get the certificate of insurance from your subcontractor or your vendor prior to them actually performing the work for you. It does you no good to find out after the fact that, after an incident has occurred, that they didn't have proper insurance. You want to obtain the certificate of insurance in addition to a written subcontractor or vendor agreement. And on that subcontractor agreement is where you can decide what your requirements are for coverage limits, policy types, and it may vary depending on the type of subcontractor that you're working with, but you can tell them in that agreement that they need to provide you proof that they meet certain requirements, in addition to other aspects that you might have in a contractual agreement with a subcontractor. You can request that they provide you with 30 days notice of cancellation of their insurance. So the 30 days notice of cancellation endorsement is commonly used in construction agreements, and what that does is it provides you as the certificate holder or the general contractor notice that their insurance company is going to provide you within 30 days if they don't pay their bill or their policy is being canceled for some reason. Their insurance company is going to give you 30 days notice, and that's important for you to know if they're working on a project for you and they're having an issue with their insurance. So maybe you collected the certificate from them 60 days ago at the beginning of the project, but something happened and their policy is being canceled. You need to, that gives you that level of protection that they're going to have coverage in force throughout the duration of your project with them. Or at least you'll be able to take steps before that happens. You want to make sure that you get that certificate of insurance in an email or in the mail or by fax or whatever from your subcontractor's agency. That's going to help you know who you need to contact if an incident were to occur, and you know that it's coming from a valid place and somebody didn't just make something up on Google or fraudulently issue themselves a certificate of insurance. So those are a few tips that I have about certificates. If you have more questions, feel free to reach out or watch some more of our videos. There's a lot that goes into risk management when it comes to running a construction business, and we want to be a partner for you to help mitigate that risk as best as possible. Thanks for watching.